Good morning. I am Guruswami K, Head of the Department of Physics, IDSC Government College, Chikmagalur. In this video, I am going to deliver a lecture on X radiation or X-rays. This chapter comes under the program 3rd BSc Physics semester, 6th semester. The title of the paper is Solid State Physics and Electronics. Now, I am going to start the lecture. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the topics like introduction to the X radiations and X-ray production by Woolridge tube, properties of X radiations. So, the topic should cover in this session. Learning objectives of this session: to discuss the radiation and difference between particulate and electromagnetic radiation, to explain the characteristics of X radiations, to discuss the production of X radiations, to describe the components of X-ray tube and their working. The production of X-rays and their working can be described in the X-ray tube. These are the learning objectives of this session. Session outcomes: at last, the student should be able to know a new type of radiation must have emanated from the discharge tube. The high energy electrons, when stopped by a material target, produced an invisible, highly penetrating radiation called X radiations. Discovery of X radiation. Now I am going to give a brief discovery of X radiations or X-rays. X-rays were discovered in 1895 by William Röntgen while doing experiments with a discharge tube. When an electron in a discharge tube or electric discharge was produced, the glass wall of the discharge tube behind the cathode began to glow with greenish yellow color. Even a surface coated with barium platinum cyanide placed outside the discharge tube emitted light in spite of shielding. Hence, he concluded that highly penetrating radiation of unknown nature are produced when a beam of fast-moving electrons strike a solid target such as tungsten or molybdenum, that is high Z elements. He named these radiations as X radiations. These unknown radiations are named by the scientist Röntgen, William Röntgen, as X radiations. This is about a brief discovery connected with X radiations. Now we are going to give the introduction part of this X radiations or X-rays. X-rays are electromagnetic waves. X-rays are a part of our electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, these X-rays lying in between the gamma radiations and UV radiations or UV visible radiations. This is what the electromagnetic spectrum. In this spectrum, if we observe, this X-ray region lies in between gamma rays and UV region. In addition to these, next visible region, infrared region, microwave region, radio region. These combine together to form an electromagnetic spectrum. Thereby, X-rays are a part of electromagnetic spectrum. Here, as one moves from left to right, okay, here it shows that the wavelength, if it is plotted in the order of nanometer, nm means nanometer, it ranges from 0.01 nanometer to 10 nanometer. Okay, the increasing wavelength order as one moves from the smaller wavelength to the higher wavelength side. Here, the X-ray region starts from 0.01 nanometer to 10 nanometer. Okay, and similarly, if you observe the energy of photons or X radiations ranges from 0.125 kilo electron volt to 125 kilo electron volt. 125 kilo electron volt. This is about the range of energy of the X radiations. So this usually X radiations lies between gamma rays and UV rays. Wavelength of these X radiations, if we express it in terms of angstrom, it ranges from 0.01 angstrom to 10 angstrom. The frequency from 3 × 10⁻⁴ of 16 Hz to 3 × 10⁻19 Hz. the energies of the X radiations ranges from 100 electron volt to 100 kilo electron volt. Thereby, by observing this electromagnetic spectrum, we came to know that these X radiations are less energetic as compared to gamma rays, or more energetic as compared to UV radiations. Or the wavelength of X radiations will be greater as compared to gamma rays, and wavelength of X radiations will be lesser as compared to UV rays. If we talk about the penetrating power of these X radiations, the penetrating power of X radiations will be lesser as compared to gamma rays. X rays are less penetrating compared to gamma, but high penetrating compared to UV radiations. But if we talk about ionizing power, there we found that the ionizing power of X radiations will be less as compared to less as compared to UV radiations, and will be high as compared to gamma rays. These were discussed once again while discussing the properties of X radiations. This is about X rays. Okay, X rays are electromagnetic, waves are electromagnetic in nature. Now we are going to discuss production of X rays by Coolidge tube method. This is the experimental setup that is used to produce X radiation, that is given by Coolidge tube. The scientist Coolidge first time used this setup to produce the X radiations in the laboratory. Now we are going to discuss the construction of this Coolidge tube. This Coolidge tube consists of a filament. Okay, the filament that acts as a cathode. Across the filament, we are going to apply some low tension voltage by the help of a low tension battery. And this filament is covered by a metallic cup. Filament is covered by a metallic cup. And the divergent beam of X radiations are coming from the filament are made to focus on the target, the metallic target used to produce X radiations. So here the shape of the cup should be such that whatever the electrons were ejected or emitted from the filament are made to focus on the target. Here the target material used is a high Z material, and like tungsten or molybdenum, etc. And that is mounted on a copper rod. And within that rod, we have to continuously circulate a cold water. Later I will go to explain why we are going to circulate that cold water. And here a spherical shaped glass tube is provided for this experiment, and it is evacuated with a very high order of vacuum, that is 0.0001 millimeter of mercury or Hg. This is the glass tube, spherical glass tube. Spherical bulb with the two projectile tubes were used, and these tubes were what we call projectile tubes, and this is a spherical glass bulb that will be taken as capital G. This is the spherical glass bulb, and these two are projectile glass tubes. Now I am going to give a brief discussion connected with the construction. The electrons are produced by thermionic emission with the help of a low tension battery. The Coolidge tube consists of a spherical bulb with two projectile tubes that are shown in the above figure. The target is connected by a copper rod. This acts as an anode. Anode or collector. The target is connected by a copper rod. This copper rod acts as an anode or collector, which collect the electrons emitted from the filament or cathode. The tungsten filament F acts as a cathode. The pressure inside the bulb is kept very low, that is of the order of 0.0001 millimeter of mercury. The high potential applied between the electrodes, that is between cathode and anode, we should apply very high potential of the order of few kilovolts. The electrons produced by heating the filament with low tension battery. Electrons are produced by heating the filament with low tension battery by the process of thermionic emission. These electrons are bombard the target. X-rays are produced. Before bombarding onto the target, we should accelerate these thermionic electrons with the help of very high potential difference applied between the cathode and anode. Thereby, those high accelerated high kinetic energy electrons will hit the target, will produce X radiations. The intensity of X-ray is depending upon the number of electrons striking the target per second. The intensity of X-ray depending upon the number of electrons striking the target per second will decide the intensity of the X-ray produced. That is intensity but the number of X-ray photons liberated or produced in the Coolidge tube depends upon what? The number of electrons, high kinetic energy electrons hit the target per unit area. That will decide the intensity of the X-ray produced in the Coolidge tube. The frequency of X-ray emitted depends on voltage between cathode and anode. Here the frequency or energy of the X-ray emission depends only on the potential difference applied between the cathode and anode. It does not depend upon the nature of the target material. Let V be the accelerating potential across the tube, that is across the cathode and anode, and small e be the charge of the electron used to liberate X radiation, that is a projectile electron. Then work done on the electron in moving from cathode to anode is EV. That charge into potential difference will give the amount of work done required to move the charge from filament to the target. This kinetic energy of electron thus gained is converted into X-ray when the electrons strike the target. By the aid of the high potential difference applied between the cathode and anode, the thermion electrons gains very high kinetic energy, and those electrons are going to hit the target nuclei. It interact with the electric field of the target nuclei. There, these electrons loses part of their energy, and that energy is appeared as X radiation, and rest of the energy will be appeared as heat. If nu be the frequency of the X-ray, then by using Planck's quantum theory of radiation, we are going to calculate the wavelength of the X-ray emitted during this X-ray production. That is SU is equal to EV, or in the place of mu, if you replace mu is equal to C by lambda, then we get HC by lambda is equal to EV. If you solve for lambda, then lambda is equal to HC by EV. Here we found that H is a Planck's constant, C is a speed of light, and again it is constant, universal constant, and E, charge of electron, is also constant. So the wavelength of the X-ray produced will directly depends upon the potential difference applied. And the relation between wavelength and potential difference applied between the cathode and anode is inversely proportional. Lambda is inversely proportional to V. Thereby, SC by E is some constant, no? The wavelength of the X-ray produced is entirely depends upon the potential difference applied between the cathode and anode or across the tube, Coolidge tube. So it does not depends upon the nature of the element used as a target. Now we are going to discuss properties of X radiations. X-rays are electromagnetic radiations. That is also explained while using electromagnetic spectrum. No? X-rays are part of electromagnetic spectrum. Thereby X-rays are electromagnetic in nature or electromagnetic radiations. And the second property is X-rays are highly penetrating radiations. The penetrating power of X radiations will be greater than UV radiations but lesser than gamma radiations. Already I discussed that in the introductory part itself. So X-rays are highly penetrating, but the penetrating power of X-rays should be less than gamma rays but greater than UV rays. Wavelength of these X radiations ranges from 0.01 angstrom to 10 angstrom. That is the wavelength range of the X radiations in the electromagnetic spectrum. X-rays ionize the gases through which they pass. If pass X radiation through a gaseous media, they produce ionization. It interact with the electrons of the atomic nuclei, atomic atoms of the target element. Thereby, it ejects the electron of the target atom. So, the atoms get ionized. Thereby, it produces ionization. Nothing but X-rays are knock out the electrons from an atom. Thereby, produce ionization. Again, the ionizing power of these X radiations will be greater as compared to gamma rays, but lesser as compared to UV radiations. X-rays affect the photographic plate. If you pass the X radiation through a photographic film, okay, these affect the photographic film or plate. If we develop that photographic plate, then we came to know that what type of X-rays were incident, what is the energy and intensity, and later on by using that we may calculate the wavelength also. X-rays produce fluorescence and phosphorescence effects. X-rays produce fluorescence and phosphorescence effect or phenomenon on certain substances. When X-rays are incident on certain materials, secondary X-rays of shorter wavelengths are emitted. Okay, primary X-ray production were observed when you use very high kinetic energy electrons or projectile electrons. Those electrons are suddenly stopped by a metal target. If we irradiate a metal target for these high kinetic energy electrons, those electrons will interact with the electric field of the nuclei of a target element. Then we found that the primary X radiations were produced. If you use these primary X radiations to produce secondary X radiation, nothing but these primary X radiations are irradiated on a metal target. Again we found that X radiations of lesser wavelengths are produced, and those X radiations are called as secondary X radiations. Though secondary X radiations always have energy which is lesser than the primary X radiation. This is another property of X radiations. The next one is the X-rays produce photoelectric effect. X-rays produce photoelectric effect. And one more is they destroy living tissues and produce biological effects. If you use a very high kinetic energy X radiations or say very high energy X radiations called as hard X radiations, okay, if we expose these X radiations on a living tissues or a body, then that will cause some damage to that biological tissue that produce biological hazards. Thereby, in the case of while taking X-ray photography in the medical application, we are going to use some optimum energy or frequency X radiation to get a photography of a particular part of the human body. If some defect or fracture should occur, later we are going to explain that in explaining the applications of X radiations. This is another property. And these X radiations undergo reflection, refraction, interference, diffraction and polarization. Whatever the ray phenomena and wave phenomena exhibited by the ordinary light, okay, or visible light, all the phenomena are also exhibited by these X radiations. This is another property of X radiations. And one more property is these X radiations are a part of electromagnetic spectrum. Thereby, these X radiations moves with a velocity is same as that of the velocity of light, or speed of X-rays is same as speed of electromagnetic radiations. Thank you.